Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Is this really one of the main things that stress you out during holiday season? I'm like a fitness expert.
Oh, are you? Didn't you just join the gym the other day for the first time ever?
Think about what you said. Is that nice?
Sorry, I didn't mean it in like a malicious way.
No, you meant it so malicious.
Like, oh my god, finally you're gonna get your ears flushed and cleaned. Like, this is such a big deal. We get there and they don't flush it out for him. So in today's episode, we are talking about holiday anxiety. I feel like this is a very taboo topic because we always see like the holiday joy and festivities and things like that, but we don't really talk about like the other end of the stick, right? Like the stress and the trauma and just anxiety that comes with it, whether it is like financial burden or hanging out with family that you don't really necessarily feel comfortable with, travel plans, burnout, and all of the jazz, right? So if you're interested in listening to this, let's get right into the episode. Welcome back to our podcast called Difficult-ish, a podcast about different South Asian narratives. I'm Mahua, your co-host.
I'm your co-host. Sugar-free fruit punch mashnoon.
Oh, wow, that was a long one. Wow, we haven't been back in 2 months and we're already back to the sugar-free lemonade.
Yeah, no, fruit punch.
Back.
Had to switch it up.
Back look, you never left.
It's crazy though. It's like zero sugar. Whatever. Welcome back to Difficult-ish podcast about South Asian narratives. This is our first episode back.
Yeah, it's been
like 2 months.
It's been a little mini break, mini as in 2 months.
Yeah.
We would apologize, but also sorry, not sorry, because we needed that rest.
Need that.
And also sometimes if you put like a time limit on how long a break is gonna be, it just makes you anxious throughout it because you're like, oh my god, let me think about the next thing. I don't know how to relax, right?
Yeah.
So we needed this time to just like regroup and think.
Yeah, we had to get back to it when we felt ready.
Yeah,
and we're ready now. We're ready now.
Yeah.
Before we get any further, I am audibly impaired for this episode. I can't hear out of my left ear.
What do you mean by that? Just left or
both? Left one is extreme.
Okay.
Right one is we'll make it work. Left one, that's why I'm on this side because like I can hear her from this ear.
Right.
I try. If you see the vlog that we posted, you will see that I try to go to urgent care to get my ears irrigated, which is the medical procedure of getting your ears flushed. When you have a build.
Do you have like prior experience with this, or is this like
a lot of prior experience? Yeah, I've done a couple times. But they didn't do it for me. Don't know why. Maybe he was lazy. Maybe he didn't feel like I needed it. He gave me these drops. They're not working, so I can't hear right now. So
did they ever say why your ears build up more earwax than the norm?
I have smaller than regular ear canals. Like
is that what they said?
Like the canal where like the sound travels is just a little smaller than
But why is it that like every 8 to 10 months you have to go back to this place?
It's probably because like I listen to like a lot of like loud music and like
that's true.
So I'm not saying it's not my fault.
It's 100% your fault.
My fault. But
no, my favorite part was that like it took him so long to get his health insurance, and I've been telling him for months like, oh my god, we have to get this cleaned out because like you can't hear, it's a problem, and you're gonna feel so much better, right? But he kept procrastinating. You know how men are going to the doctors and anything health related, right? So I had to go with him, right? And this was like an exciting day that we were looking forward to, right? We're like, oh my god, finally you're gonna get your ears flushed and cleaned. Like, this is such a big deal. And we get there and they don't flush it out for him. It was such a letdown because he was just like sitting there, they were like, oh, what are you allergic to? They were like, oh, what are you allergic to? And he goes, cats.
That's what I usually say. Like,
okay, but they say that just in case you're allergic to medication.
I don't know that. I'm allergic to cats. That's what I said. I'm allergic to, vitamins.
But yeah, anyway, they didn't flush out his ears. He had to get like an over-the-counter type of medication.
It's not working.
But anyway, I hope that his lack of hearing doesn't impair this episode too much, right? Yeah, you like that one? You like that? Yeah.
That's kind of hard. What's up? New crib?
New crib.
Where we at? Tell them.
If you guys didn't know, I moved out to a new place, a nicer, bigger, upgraded place in New York City, and it's been so nice to just like live here and just have some more space to myself. In my previous studio apartment, I lived there for 3 years. It was a great first apartment, but realistically, there were some problems that I just did not bring to the forefront because I didn't want to complain. And it was not enough space to do all the things that we've been doing, right? And that I've been doing as well. So I'm very grateful with the space. I'm very happy with this change. And in the 2 years, in the 2 months that we haven't been recording, a lot of things have been happening behind the scenes. You know, like I've been moving in. I was traveling a lot. And we've been just, trying to think about how to glow up this podcast.
It's been busy times.
It's been busy times.
Start a new job. Been cooking a lot more. Book is practically done. Just
you're wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up.
Oh, that's good. Like holiday season, like you're wrapping up the gift finally.
So yeah, that's that. Excited to be back with the podcasting thing. Sorry for a little rusty.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit.
I haven't talked to you in 2 months.
2 months.
Oh my god!
Holy moly! Goodness gracious.
Back to long distance. No more talking for that long.
Imagine we didn't talk 2 months. Sorry.
That'd be crazy.
Sorry, I was busy.
Yeah, that'd be actually wild. No, but honestly, like our parents or grandparents back in the day, they probably had to do that.
That's insane.
The sending letters by bird.
That's insane. Bird?
That's how like the domestication of birds started from. Really? That's why I'm such a bird empath. Okay. Because birds were domesticated back then.
Break that down.
And then now they're neglected in society. All right, I know we.
But how does that lead to neglection? Like what's
the
tie
because
to
we
neglect?
Didn't. After the birds were domesticated in society and used in like kingdoms and things like that, and used for letters, like sending letters, we didn't need that anymore with the use of telephones, but also the use of just like people sending over letters. So like they were like, oh, we don't need use for birds anymore. So now they're neglected, but they were so
necessary.
No, they were so necessary, yeah, but they've been so used to like humans growing them up and feeding them and just having them as pets.
That's deep.
Now they don't know how to take care of themselves, and they're seen as like dirty and nasty, but they cannot help themselves.
That's deep. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to bring. No, this is a real thing. Okay. Didn't mean to go off on that bird tangent. I just really like pigeons.
Think about it though.
I really like pigeons, but sometimes they poop on me, and I get scared when I walk under bridges. So it's like a little like double entendre.
Yeah, maybe they just poop on you because they just feel anxious. The same way that we feel anxious during holiday season. The topic of this episode.
That was a good segue.
Yeah,
so smooth.
Yeah, what's up? What are we talking about this episode?
So today's episode, we are talking about holiday season and holiday anxiety. How's it already done? Let's put the glass down. So we are talking about holiday anxiety, how to get over holiday anxiety, and some of our experiences dealing with these things. So when we are posting this episode, it is still like around Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, that time of year, right? And around this time of year, there are a lot of stresses around just like, losing a loved one and not having them to spend the holiday season with, maybe being away from home. Maybe you have family trauma and you have to spend time with them. Maybe it's financial burdens with just like gift giving and travel plans. And then there's also like social anxiety, because sometimes you're overcommitting your time to like social events that you don't feel like have the bandwidth to do. Or you're comparing yourself to other people on social media because they look like they're having like the perfect holiday experience.
Yeah, lavish.
And you're not, right? So there is a lot of like stress and anxiety and like even trauma with holiday season on top of like the cheerfulness and the joy and the happiness. So we kind of wanted to talk about just some of these brackets because it's just so prevalent. I feel like holiday season is marketed as this beautiful, jolly, happy Santa Claus ho 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 time, and you're supposed to feel like that because of society.
Yeah.
But if you feel something on the other extreme, we don't really talk about it as much. It's still kind of taboo.
We don't.
Right? So what do we want to talk about?
Yeah,
first?
Like when you first brought this up.
Yeah. You like this idea, right?
I liked it. Topic. I liked it. You know why?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this before.
Yeah.
You can't stop with this one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, a lot of Muslims, we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Eid. And I think a lot of the feelings can be felt during that time too, where it's like we're just obligated and expected to do so much for like this one period of the year that we just don't do for the rest of the year. And like on one end, it can be exciting. We can be, everyone loves holiday season, but
I just love like the little like ad lib you put in
Right.
the
But like a lot of time, like you said, like we don't think about like how a lot of this can be stressful, and it's like you also want to, indulge, and you want to buy yourself something nice because you haven't bought yourself anything all year, so now's the time when like you want to buy yourself something, but like you got other people, so all this stuff. And so when you first brought it up, I really liked it because I had never thought about it before.
Yeah.
But I guess we could start off by talking, about some of our like personal experiences. Like, what are some things that like we have personally, experienced?
Yeah.
When it comes to holiday season. So what I asked you, what are some things that really stress you out during the holiday season? Break it down.
Oh no, I think it's interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you pause, but it got me thinking. It's interesting that you say that as Muslims, some of us don't celebrate Christmas. Obviously, we celebrate Eid more and like our religious holidays more in comparison to Christian holidays. But I think when you live in America, in Western countries, because we are surrounded by so much like holiday cheer around this time, like Christmas decorations and like Black Friday shopping and just like Thanksgiving and, a lot of the Christmas tree and things like that, you are kind of ingrained with celebrating it, not in a religious way, but just in like a cultural, societal way. Whether if you are at work, you're doing like the holiday parties, you're doing like the happy hour during holiday season, you're doing Secret Santa, gift giving and things like that, which doesn't necessarily mean you're celebrating it in like a religious way, but you're kind of just like partaking in the culture, right?
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of us are just like feeding into the holiday joy and spirit in that way.
That's true.
Because, America is progressing with like Eid decorations and like the Eid joy and Eid campaigns and other like Diwali, you get school off for a lot of New York City public schools. And I think it's getting to the same, not the same level, but similar levels as like Christmas joy and Thanksgiving joy, but it's not the same yet. So that's what I'm trying to get at. But also, anyway, so something that I feel anxiety with sometimes, especially during like Eid, is like when you're expected to go to someone's house and like have this like formal, very friendly dinner with people that you might not necessarily be comfortable with, knowing that they might bring up some like trauma from your past or bring up something very uncomfortable that you don't know how to handle. Like I've had situations, whether it is just a normal family dinner with extended people, not necessarily for like a holiday or like a situation, where some family members, they might be from like the older generation or whatever it is, they don't know how to say something with social cues.
Okay.
They just say whatever like it is bluntly.
Okay.
Like for example, in Bangladesh, sometimes people are very like straightforward. They're staring at you and they don't see it as like a rude thing. It could be anything. It could be about your hair. If it's colored differently, it can be the way you dress, whatever. Even if you have different gender pronouns, whatever it is. But like some of their cultural norms are kind of obtuse for us. You understand? Like
I've never heard
you
that
heard
word
that
come
like
out of your mouth.
like
I've never heard that word come out of your mouth. That's insane.
Obtuse. Like
that's crazy.
like them staring is kind of the norm there. It's not seen as disrespectful. For us, we're like, why are you staring at me?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Is this really one of the main things that stress you out during holiday season?
It doesn't.
Like,
it stresses me out in some aspects because I'm like, why am I getting dressed up and looking all nice and celebrating this? Why'd you say it like that?
Like,
it's a big stressor. It's a big stressor.
Like, is it that serious? like I understand this maybe like a little, but like for the pot, like this is the first thing you have to tell the people. This is what's. Oh my god, this is the first thing that's on your mind.
I'm saying
2 months.
I'm
2
saying,
months we haven't recorded.
Hold on for a second. Let me explain. I understand that my experiences with this aren't as grand as some other people's experiences. But if you guys have seen the Gossip Girl episode, the Thanksgiving episode, where everyone is sitting at the table, what did you say?
Okay.
What you say? You know that clip where the Gossip Girl? But anyway, yeah, you know the song. Yeah, cool. But there's a lot of tension sometimes because, one person is sleeping with another person. And then
wow.
But it's like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't have it as bad as some other people who might be in an interracial relationship and they can't tell someone, or someone in the family knows, they want to out you, right? or, maybe whatever it is. I'm just saying an experience that I have gone through on a lower extent that can be a stressor for other people. You understand me?
Some that I get stressed about during the holiday season is the fact that you are confronted with the fact that you have not accomplished as much as you first set out to when the year started.
Why is that prevalent more like during holiday season?
Years come because you know what you do. You know what you do on January 1st. Think about how good the year's gonna be. Do you ever have a January 1st where you're like, damn, this year's gonna suck? Never. All of us are like, this is gonna be the best. If you don't say this is gonna be the best year of your life, you say this is gonna be an amazing year. You're gonna do da 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 da. You're gonna do all these things. And how many of those things we not accomplish?
Yeah, that's true.
It's okay. We don't gotta get into it, because the more I talk about it, the more tears I'll shed. Okay. But as
you
November,
did enough. You did a lot.
I do love November though. Yeah. I feel like, honestly, August and November are my months.
Why?
You agree?
Why? Why can?
Nah,
because
I just feel it in like my inner being. So when the end of the year hits, I just really realize I haven't accomplished as much as I should. And on one end, it makes me excited for the next year because I'm like, a lot of these things can carry over. It's a marathon, not a race.
I like that.
These days are arbitrary, made up times anyway.
Yeah.
Like we are living one continuous life. It's fine.
Yeah.
But of course, when we put deadlines on ourselves, when we put it becomes very upsetting confronting the fact that you didn't reach a lot of this. So that brings me a lot of anxiety towards the end of the year because, I'm trying to convince myself that, it's okay, Masha. It's okay that you didn't do this. It's okay you didn't do that. But you also have to be critical of yourself and you have to say, I could have accomplished this. I could have accomplished that. I think, one goal that I have for myself in this year was this book, to have this book out. Now this book is not going to be out by this year. And whether it was my fault or not, of course, there's always things I could have done better. There's things that were out of my control. It's just having to, reflect on what I did wrong, what I did right. And a lot of time, self-reflection is realizing what you did wrong a lot more. And
guess what? I feel like, we have all these big goals that we wanted to accomplish every single year. And then we feel like this sense of like hopelessness by the end of the year because we're like, oh dang, these big goals, like I didn't do any of it, right? But we shouldn't lose sight of the small things, or not even the small, but the other goals that we did end up accomplishing on the way to December, on the way of trying to accomplish the other goals, right? Like for example, you didn't finish writing this book, but you still did come up with like all these extra poems that you didn't think you were capable of in the marathon of trying to finish this book, right? Like I didn't come out with 2 collections this year as I wanted to, but I did start planning the next year's collections earlier. Yeah,
you're right, but
but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, this is how ambitious dream chasers think. You think you gotta do these big things. You're proud of yourself that you did. And, there's so many things that I didn't expect to accomplish this year that I did accomplish it, that I'm very happy for myself for. But that doesn't make me lose sight of the fact that, there's a lot that I didn't do. But it's okay.
I on top of that, I feel like when you are towards the end of the year and you're feeling like you didn't do enough, sometimes people go into overdrive mode. There's 2 ends of the extreme, right? People sometimes go into the overdrive mode because they're like, oh, we have 1 more month left. Let me just make the best out of it and work extra hard to make these dreams come true. But then there's the other end where they're like, oh, it's already December. No point in trying. Let me try again for the new year, right? They're like, let me put all this on pause. Let me skip out on the dieting. Let me skip out on working hard and towards my goals and just wait until January 1st, right?
That's fact.
Which I understand both ends of it. But I feel like for me, I experience a little bit more burnout towards the end of the year because I'm working extra hard in comparison to the other months. Some people usually rest towards the end of the year and they take off work. For me, I usually work more because I'm usually for the holiday season, especially as a small business owner and an entrepreneur, you work more because it's you get more sales during holiday season. So you're working on like holiday shoots and campaigns for like consumerism and brand deals. You work a little bit more on that during this time of year anyway. And then I'm just like packing more orders and just like posting more on YouTube and like content wise. Like we just came back with the podcast now, when we're supposed to be like on a season break going on to it now, right? So I think, and also if you work in retail and those type of jobs that are very heavily focused for holiday season, you're not really allowed to take off work like most people. You can't just like take a break at this time. If you're working in corporate, then yeah, you can probably take a break for a week or two. But other jobs that don't have that luxury, you are kind of working harder during this time of year, And I feel like people don't talk about the burnout enough work-wise. Yeah, there's burnout with like family spending time and financial burdens and things like that around this time. But there's also like a mental fatigue, you know?
Yeah, I go through that.
You
I deal with
do?
That. Yeah, every year.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because of what I said earlier. I think it's like... Yeah, it's like when November, December comes, I'm like overworking, over delivering, but also trying to relax and trying to get myself ready for the next year. But also simultaneously reminding myself that like we're on one continuous line of life. Like none of these days are made up. Like these months are made up. Like it's not that serious.
Yeah. You gonna make a vision board this year or no?
Yeah, I probably will, but I feel like I just get sad looking at mine.
What are you talking about? It's supposed to motivate you.
Did you accomplish everything from your vision goal?
Of course not.
I didn't either.
But I'm saying making one for the next year, doesn't it motivate you?
Me, I don't know. Me personally, I don't know. To each their own. But for me, I don't know.
I understand.
I also get stressed out because there's a lot of money to spend in the end of the year. There is a lot of money.
Yeah, there is.
And I think before that, I just want to touch on the fact that what a lot of brown people go through is trying to figure out where to be, who to be with during holiday season. Because I take a lot of flights.
Because got a lot of miles on you, huh?
I got a lot of miles.
Spirit miles.
I got Spirit just went bankrupt. You saw?
Did they?
You didn't get the email?
No, how would I get the email? Are you on their like are you on their mailing list?
Yeah. Like the what's the like the trusted buyers type of email list?
Right.
So I got an email specifically from the CEO. He sent out like an email to me and he was just like, "Hey, like I'm stepping down, like you might have heard what's going on with Spirit, but just know that like everything's okay." That you didn't get the email?
I didn't get the email.
So I fly a lot, right? Florida, New York, Atlanta. Florida, New York, Atlanta. Florida, New York. Florida, New York. Because a lot, for holiday season, I love to be with my mother, but for holiday season, I love to be with Shorty, and I love to be with friends.
Who's your Shorty?
And sister, ATL, my third home. I love to be around all. My sister's birthday is 4 days before New Year's. Like there's so many. And
Secret Santa's also gonna be in.
Secret Santa, like so many things I want to do, so many people I want to be with, and it always just stresses me out because one, the money, I gotta fly here and there. Thank God I work a tech job and like they're able to, give me a little leniency, whatever it is. But it's always like the internal struggle of like, I got to do this, but I don't want to, or I got to be here, but I don't want to. And, you do it all for other people, and that can get to you because, you're giving so much of yourself away towards the end of the year, which is not what you want to do towards the end of the year. A lot of time what you want to do towards the end of the year is relax, is chill out. But here you are just pushing yourself to the limit just to make other people happy, or pushing yourself to the limit, trying to be here and there when it's like you don't want none of that. You just want to chill out. And then after doing all that, it's right back to work. January 3rd, January 4th, that first Monday at work. Yeah, the most dreaded day of the year. So
it is.
Yeah, I do. I that's my personal experience. Having to go out and about, and like the money that's spent.
Yeah, so money being spent on that, and then you trying to like stretch yourself thin.
That's the word.
Stretch yourself thin. Just because you have extra free time and a little bit of a break towards the end of the year doesn't mean you have to say yes to all these like activities and events and hanging out with people that don't necessarily bring you anxiety, but just like having so much time with people can sometimes bring you anxiety. You know, sometimes people fill your cup, but there's also a limit to things, right? You have to have a good balance of like hanging out with people, but also by yourself. And it's frustrating because like it's like you're only one person, right? And obviously you're so loved by people where people want you in so many different directions, but you're also just a boy. You're just a boy.
Do you feel like you get more like independent towards the end of the year, like focused on trying to accomplish whatever goals you have, or do you transition a little bit to, you know, being a people person, family person, trying to give those people time? Like, which one is more important for you?
I think over the years I've become more selfish with my goals, and I've been able to say yes to more things that like my heart feels more aligned with. Like, since, you know, my family specifically doesn't celebrate holiday season too much, I don't feel like I have to go there as often. Also, you know, I'm different from you. Like, my family lives in New York, so I don't have to like buy a ticket and fly out and, you know, do all those extra things. But I feel like I can go more as like my time allows me to, and as like all of our schedules allow me to. But I think with the stress of, like, for example, if I work more during this time of year, but I'm able to choose my own hours as an entrepreneur, but like my parents are off for the first time in the year towards the end of December, I feel like it's up to me as the eldest daughter to plan a trip for all of us.
Talk about it.
And cater my time and my brother's time to my parents, because this is the first trip of their lives. So like obviously that's a very exciting thing, and I'm like very excited to go on our first family vacation eventually. But it's also very stressful as like the oldest daughter to plan that and financially make that work, and, you know, kind of be the organizer of everyone's time and everyone's schedule and what activities we're going to be doing together, and do that on top of the other holiday obligations that I already have for work and things like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it has, you know, you have different just like responsibilities as depending on where you live, and then what your position is in the family, your cultural background, so many different things, you know.
Eldest daughter things.
Yeah.
I feel you.
You feel me?
You wouldn't know.
Oh. You're the eldest daughter? I didn't know.
Can't tell.
I didn't know. I thought your sister was the eldest daughter.
Nah, so like yeah, what's up? Like what are some like words of encouragement you have for maybe like, you know, me? A young Padawan, you know, struggling, like not knowing, you know, end of the, oh my god, I have so much to do, but
you always start rubbing your eyes like whenever you're trying to like imitate like what do I have for you?
Do you want to tell them like the Shark Tank? Like,
no, because that's like our inside joke.
We have an inside joke.
Yeah, okay. I would hope we have an inside joke after being together for 4.5 years.
We thought of our first. No.
Yeah. I think one source of anxiety sometimes is, we know this, right? This isn't just holiday season, but social media. If you're excessively on social media, whether you're like doom scrolling, whether you are just stalking other people that look happy on the outside, and you're like, oh my god, why can't I look this happy on the outside? That will bring you down, especially during holiday season. So this is a very small tip, and you can follow it or not. Sometimes I don't even follow it because I'm so just deep in the hole, right? You can unfollow or mute all those people that have this like facade, this beautiful life that you are aspiring to have. Sometimes you are aspiring to have it, but then it gets so unhealthy to the point where you're like jealous and you're like, why can't I have it? You know, like you're not using it as like a healthy competition type of thing. So maybe mute those people temporarily. And I know sometimes doom scrolling, it's so like easy to do where we're just like going through it, especially if we're already feeling down. We're like, oh, let me just scroll through on TikTok for hours. Sometimes I'll tell myself like, okay, when I wake up, I'm gonna force myself to wake up at this time and give myself only 10 minutes to scroll, and then get up out of bed at this time, and just like have that already thought process already ingrained in me. I know time limits, there's like downtime limits on social media apps now. Really try to condition yourself into not spending so much time on social media, even if the content that you consume isn't like necessarily bad or like toxic. there's just so many different forms of content, happy to sad to this and that, where it just kind of makes your mind just wishy-washy with the different form. We're not really conditioned to have all of this input of content in our brain, unnecessary information. It overwhelms us for no reason, and so I think that's really helpful. And then on top of that, if you are planning on spending more time with people this holiday season, or you got invited to all these events that you are planning on attending, it's really important to have those moments of peace and just like those sacred routines. For example, like if I know that I have a lot of things going on in my mind, I like to have that morning time for myself where I'll wake up, make myself a coffee, do my skincare routine, take the coffee to the balcony, soak in the sun, have some vitamin D, and just like listen to my podcast, and whether it is just an hour of that time, that kind of sets me up in a good way for the whole day. It fixes my mood. It kind of lets me regroup when I have planned, and just like allows me to be grateful and just like be in nature for a second. And that can be different, whatever your routine is for you. But I feel like having that one thing that you can kind of look forward to every single day just allows you to have like your own solo time, and it like makes you feel more grateful for things, and also reminds you that like the things that you are going through now, whether it is an anxiety or a pain point, whatever, it's usually temporary, right? And those like small moments of gratitude and joy remind you that like that's gonna be like fleeting. You understand? How about you, buddy?
Completely.
Yeah.
Fully understand.
Yeah.
Comprehension.
That's good.
Like about the social media thing, one thing I've been thinking about is like it's like such a thing to like decorate your house for like for Thanksgiving, for one, like Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas time / holidays.
Yeah.
That shit's not cheap, bro.
Oh, yeah,
that shit is
for
so
sure.
is so much work,
For
so
sure.
expensive. Blankets, pillows, little ornaments, trinkets, bath rugs, kitchen
rugs?
towels.
Wow.
Everything.
Can you tell that he's been
just-
doing a lot of holiday shopping?
Just to like,
Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, where are you? It's like 6 p.m. He'll just be at TJ Maxx.
Yeah,
just,
obviously.
just
I need to get
browsing.
my gingerbread kitchen towels, obviously.
Yeah, he literally did get, like, he's saying that like it's a joke. He literally did buy gingerbread kitchen hand towels the other day.
Yeah, that shit adds up. But you look on social media, everybody got all these beautiful decorated things.
Yeah.
That stuff is, you don't need all that. You don't, because you know what? Guess what? January 1st, you put that right away. November 1st, put right away all your Halloween stuff. Where are you gonna put it? You got one closet in your house. You got no room to put any of this stuff. All that stuff is a waste. Relax. Just get some nice stuff. Whatever. So I've been thinking about that too.
Yeah.
One thing that I did want to bring up, as you guys know, as y'all know, I'm like a fitness expert.
Oh, are you? Didn't you just join the gym the other day for the first time ever? In months.
Think about what you said. Is that nice?
Sorry. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Why'd she do this to me? Why'd she do this? Like,
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it in like a malicious way.
No, you meant it so maliciously.
No, I didn't.
I feel maliciousized. I feel terrible.
Maliciousized.
I'm a dietitian expert, food expert, connoisseur, everything.
Okay.
When Thanksgiving comes, y'all gonna eat, and that's okay. You know, that's it. Y'all gonna eat. Y'all gonna eat, and that's okay. One thing I do want to say is don't wait until January 1st to start your diet or to start your fitness journey. Because I think that's what a lot of people say. Don't do that. Start it earlier.
What you mean?
Because January 1st is so far away.
Yeah.
January 1st just puts you in this imaginary group that you think just because you start on January 1st is going to be a miraculous experience for you. You're going to I'm going to start January 1st.
Is that how they speak?
That's
the highest peak day of like gym people.
Yeah, I know. From experience.
Okay.
Like, start earlier. Don't follow these made up dates of when you got to start your diet, because just start it sooner. Eat good for Thanksgiving. Maybe have your leftovers for the week following. But like the next weekend, bro, like go to the gym. Like get back on your diet. You got there's no point in eating unhealthy for like December 1st to You know, like
Yeah.
that time,
Don't-
be good to yourself. Be strict. Like,
Yeah.
yes, the holidays, you can have a cookie on the Friday, whatever it is, but it's like relax. It's okay. Christmas time, New Year's time, eat whatever is good, and then resume in January. But it's like, don't put these like such far away. Like, oh, that day I'm gonna start. Just start sooner, because
Yeah.
when you make it such an event, then you put so much unnecessary pressure on following like a diet or following like a fitness routine, when like you don't need that unnecessary pressure. Just make it like part of your life. Make it part of your lifestyle. You know, so many people are it's a part of so many people's lifestyles to eat a pot full of pasta every day. That's not the right lifestyle. Right lifestyle is to have a bowl of pasta once a week. That's cool, you know, but the unnecessary, completely extreme is to absolutely cut out any sort of whatever, everything forever. That is unnecessary.
I think people believe in those type of like ideologies where they're like, oh, if this one thing is true, then everything else is true, right? Like if they do eat pretty crappy, or they're breaking their diet for the holiday season or this one day, they're like, okay, that must mean I broke my diet completely and I must just eat bad until January 1st, and then I'll get back onto it. I feel like we are ingrained with that mindset sometimes, whether it is with food and our relationship with studying or whatever it is, right? We feel like we broke this one thing, we did something wrong in our head, so that must mean everything else that we did before that was for nothing.
Yeah.
And we have to just be bad and continuously do that bad thing, right? Because there's no point in undoing it. But that's not necessarily true. If you feel like you want to indulge a little bit for Thanksgiving and you see all this delicious food, yeah, try it. But that doesn't mean like you like went against your ideology and your who you are as a person, and you should continuously do that because you think you're a bad person. That's not. It has no relationship, you know.
Have all the food, man. Have the turkey and the mashed potatoes and gravy and mac and cheese and collard greens and green bean casserole. And stuffing and chicken
okay, are you
wings.
hungry? Like, what's going on? He made a list for Thanksgiving the other, what he's gonna make.
I'm making honey butter cornbread.
Yeah, he was so excited about that. I was unclogging his ears.
I'll say it again.
I was unclogging his ears. He was just looking at Thanksgiving food. But anyway, I have something to say now that you say that.
Go ahead.
I think it's also, so since there's so much holiday anxiety surrounding family that you don't necessarily want to see, people that bring you anxiety, and just like these blood relatives that you are mandated to see and just put up with for the holiday season, I think it's also important to surround yourself with people that are kind of like your family.
Yeah, safe
like
space.
your what's the word called again? Like your you just said exactly what I just said. Like your
loved ones.
No. Your chosen family is the word. Chosen family.
Right.
Like friends that are your chosen family. Okay. Because, you know, this year I'm hosting a Friendsgiving in my new place with my chosen family, you know, friends that are just, we're so close and they're basically like family at this point. Just because like growing up, I didn't really have Thanksgiving celebrations. We didn't really host things like that. Obviously, we didn't really have like Christmas parties or whatever. And I always felt like this FOMO because I saw like all of these amazing like holiday celebrations and just parties, and we didn't necessarily do that as a family just because we don't have like a close-knit family with like cousins my age and this and that. So I just always felt like kind of left out and just like bored and lonely during this holiday season growing up. But now that I'm older and I have my own place, I can host myself.
It's exciting.
And I can just like have the people that I want in my place and just create those traditions for myself. So I think it just, you know, just really hone in on those like people that you love and that fill up your cup, that don't bring you as much anxiety, and just try to maintain those things on top of the other things that you're also used to. But I have one last thing. Oh no, but you can continue with your thought.
Home is where the heart is.
Oh, that's what you wanted to say. One last thing, since you brought up I forgot what you brought up, but I want to say something. Yeah. So, Yeah, a lot of people are, the money aspect. So a lot of people have this financial burden to just like get gifts, right? These crazy gifts and travel and, do this and that because of FOMO, but also holiday season, you're kind of expected to. Holiday season is I'm telling you this as an influencer and as a small business owner, okay? Holiday season is the biggest tactic for people to spend their money, right? It is a big ploy set by America, consumerist America, and like the Western world for you to spend your money, right? We have Black Friday, we have all these holiday sales, bundle packs and things like that are being sent out to you in September, right? Literally right after August fall season, buy these bundle packs for your holiday gifts, right? And I'm telling you that you are going to see a lot of sales, which is great. But don't feel like you have to feed into these sales, especially for Black Friday. You'll see so many discounts on some of your favorite websites, 50% off, 60%, so whatever. Make sure to spend your money more on long-lasting things. Like, don't spend your money on fast fashion. If you go on Shein and you see a sale for 90% off, do you need to buy that item for $1? I promise you that will disintegrate in your fingertips within like a month, okay? And it's going to go into those landfills or whatever. It's going to break almost immediately. Buy those sustainable pieces that will last you for a long time. Maybe you are spending a little bit more money, but it will last you. You'll use it. You'll have more love for it. And even if it's like handmade or something that's more just like personalized, the person that you gift it to will love it a lot more. There's a good quality to it. There are so many reasons for buying things for maybe a more expensive price, but buying less of it instead of spending your money on like unnecessary items just because you see this like big 50% off sign, right?
That's a fact.
These are all tactics, marketing tactics that are getting you.
Yeah, they are.
So shop small, shop Labyrinth.
Watch out.
Shop labyrinth.com.
Watch out, shop Labby.
Shop Labby. But yeah, any closing thoughts?
Good one. No, yeah, like I know I this whole episode I just dogged on the fact that like time is made up and dates are made up. But if you are struggling with the fact that you haven't accomplished much, it's okay. We got next year. It's even though it isn't actually, we treat it as a fresh start, and it's okay if you treat it as a fresh start. If you treat it in a lighthearted, like, hey, it's okay, this is a breath of fresh air, like, it's cool, whatever I messed up in, it's in the past, can't control the past, we got today, we got next year, it's totally cool, so I think that's what I've been telling myself is that it's okay that I didn't do this or do that. I got a fresh start coming up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've been trying to think the same way.
Yeah.
Good one, buddy.
Good one. I got a meeting soon.
Hey.
10-second advice?
My 10-second advice. This is useless or useful?
Does it ever matter?
Useless. Useless is I know we always hear get a haircut every 3 to 4 months. It's necessary sometimes, but you can kind of push it to like 6 months. It is important to get a trim once in a while. My hair is pushing 1 year with no haircut.
Okay.
Change is necessary.
Grow that hair.
Just for your hair to look healthier and bouncier and just grow more.
Call me up.
Oh, you're cutting hair.
My technical advice, run.
That's it.
Run. Go run. Run a little half a mile.
No follow-up?
Huh?
There's no follow-up.
I'm following up.
Oh, okay.
A little half a mile, whatever it is. Get some, $60 running shoes, Nike clearance store. Just go run a little bit. You'll feel great. First one's going to suck. Second one's going to suck. Third one's going to suck.
Yeah.
By the 10th one, you're going to be like, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
You like
Feels
it now?
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Go run. If you need a little reminder, go run. Just go run.
Do you have any Bangla word of the day to end off our episode?
For
someone
Dorao.
Wow.
Run.
Dorao means run.
Dorao. You got one?
No, I thought we were just doing one each episode.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Difficult Dish, the podcast by Mahou and Mashroom. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all the jazz. Please interact, engage, do everything. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you come back next week for another episode of Difficult Dish.
Difficult Dish. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Allah Hafiz.